So, guys, apparently there's a high appetite for young people in the country to vote for the African National Congress. These are the words of the African National Congress Youth League president. He says that young people in this country, they have a huge appetite to vote for the African National Congress. Man, I don't know about you guys. What are your thoughts? Do you think young people in the country today, they have appetite to vote for the African National Congress? Or do you think there's any reason for a young person in the country today to vote for the African National Congress? I would speak for myself, man. I would never vote for the African National Congress. I don't see a need for me to vote for the African National Congress. And especially as a young person, there is no need for me to keep the 80-year-olds, grandnieces and grandpas in parliament sleeping when people are discussing legislations. This is not what I want to see. I don't want anything that has to do with African National Congress. So I don't know where this notion comes from that young people in this country today, they have a huge appetite to vote for the African National Congress. I mean, like, why would any young person in the country vote for the African National Congress? Why would any young person today vote for the African National Congress? The only young people that are voting for the African National Congress, or the only young people, man, that love the African National Congress, are people who want to benefit in some way from the African National Congress, are people who are hoping that one day maybe the African National Congress is going to do something for us. But for me, I can see clearly there's no need for me to vote for the African National Congress. There's no need for young people in this country to vote for the African National Congress, because the ANC does not prioritize young people. The ANC doesn't care about young people. First of all, if the ANC cared about young people, they would give young people good education. If the ANC cared about young people, they would actually make sure that the small business sector is thriving in South Africa. If the African National Congress cared about young people, they would actually make sure that they produce a conducive environment where investors will actually come. Conducive environment where investors will actually come. But the ANC is failing this. The ANC is even failing to keep the investors that we already have in South Africa, because these people cannot even provide electricity. So what is the purpose for a young person to go out and vote for the African National Congress? I don't know why the African National Congress Youth League goes around keep telling the people of this country that the young people in this country want to vote for the African National Congress. Why would young people vote for the ANC when the ANC is the same reason that the young people hate politics today?
But without any waste of time, I would want to bring in the president of the ANC Youth League to just paint a picture in terms of his mobilization, in terms of encouraging young people to register and vote. Mr. President, you've been interacting with
Mr. President.
young people, especially here in Gauteng and of course throughout the country. Did your message gain resonance?
No, we believe that our message has been gaining resonance. If you can see, there's a high increase and an appetite for youth to want to vote and mainly vote for the ANC.
I mean, like, why would the president of your ANC Youth League branch, why would the president of the ANC Youth League go out and say there's a huge appetite for young people to vote for the African National Congress? What are these people actually playing at? Are these people actually trying to lie at themselves? Are they lying to themselves? Because if these people are going to stand there and pretend like the African National Congress is the best party we have in South Africa, then clearly these people, man, are not ready to govern. Then clearly these people, man, are not serious about servicing the people of this country, because there is no need for young people to vote for the ANC. Why would young people vote for the ANC? Guys, am I exaggerating? Please tell me if you think there's any valid reason why should young people vote for the African National Congress. Please tell me in the comment section.
Because of the good work the ANC has done, look, we're here in the city of Tshwane, a municipality led by the DA, and this municipality led by the DA, everything has collapsed. There's no water. We're told the criminals are doing as they please here. It's a crime zone. There's no services. There's nothing. It's a good example that wherever the ANC is not governing, no one takes responsibility.
I mean, like, it's really funny for someone who represents the party that collapsed, like, what, 80% of the municipalities in the country, for him to go to one municipality, pick one municipality that is not governed by the African National Congress, go there and tell the people there that the African National Congress provides the best services. How? This is why every time when people will say that, no, the Western Cape is not the best governing province, the DA is not the best governing party, but you look at the Western Cape and people will tell you that the Western Cape, they have crime, the Western Cape has problems. And I'm like, which province actually does not have problems? All the provinces have problems, but which province is actually advancing in South Africa? Which province is advancing than any other provinces in South Africa? It is the Western Cape. The Western Cape is governed by the DA. But people will pick up small issues within the Western Cape and say, yeah, this is the reason why we are telling you that the DA cannot govern. I mean, like, can you please tell me about one municipality that is perfect? Can you tell me about the one province that is actually perfect? So why are people actually... And for some reason, man, it makes sense for people when the ANC guys goes out and says that the DA is doing a terrible job. But why don't you say that, man, you are governing like 80% of the municipalities in the country? Why are municipalities in the country destroyed? Why are municipalities in the country destroyed, man? You have never gotten a clean audit. You've never gotten a clean audit. But these are questions that the so-called reporters in South Africa are not asking. The so-called reporters in South Africa, man, they are not asking real questions.
We have a track record that when we were in charge of Tshwane, it was better than what it is now. Now we're here to revive the spirit of our people, revive our structures, remind the people of Mamelodi and Tshwane that here they're not...
I mean, like, it is so sad for South Africa to have to choose between the parties that are not servicing them. Fine, you say the DA is not governing Tshwane. Fine, the DA is not governing Tshwane. But are you telling them that if they leave DA and go to the African National Congress, they're going to get a better service? If the DA is already failing with governing Tshwane, do you think the African National Congress can do a better work? This is why I'm saying that, man, South Africans are stuck between a rock and a hard place. South Africans are stuck between a rock and a hard place, man. This is why when you speak with people today, they will tell you, I would rather vote for the African National Congress because it's better the devil you know than the devil you don't know. This is why people are telling you these things. And it's very unfortunate that in South Africa today, man, people have to vote and have to debate about who's better between the parties that are actually not giving them the services. Just imagine, man, for the people of Tshwane, having to choose between the ANC and the DA. It is, man, just imagine.
Led by the ANC, they're led by the DA, and what they did in the past 10 years of not going out to vote for the African National Congress, today they're paying the price for that. Now the youth of Tshwane and everywhere else will make sure that they fight. And look, on top of that, there's crime here, where criminals are just moving as they please. It's a crime zone. Tshwane is becoming a capital city of criminals. Now we've also told the president that the youth of Tshwane is not feeling safe in their own area. He must send the military, must do that. We can't have criminals.
So the president must send the military to Tshwane because Tshwane is governed by the DA. But the president must not send the military to all the municipalities that are governed by the African National Congress, because I guess in your own saying, the municipalities that are being governed by the African National Congress are all safe. People are living in harmony, many people are sleeping. They don't even lock their doors when they are sleeping. This is essentially what you are saying, that the president must send the military to Tshwane because Tshwane is governed by the DA. But the president must not send the military to the provinces or the municipalities that are governed by the African National Congress. Man, I think it, like, this whole thing, this is the reason why I'm saying the politicians are not taking South Africans serious. This is why I say politicians are not taking South Africans serious. And the media is helping them. The media is helping them to disrespect South Africans. Because these are questions that should be asked, that, man, if you're going to come to Tshwane and discredit Tshwane because Tshwane is governed by the DA, how about all the municipalities that are governed by the African National Congress? Can people sleep? Should the president send the military to the municipalities that are governed by the African National Congress? Should the president say that the military must go to these places that are governed by the African National Congress? Many people are not saying that. People are not saying that, and this is why I'm saying politicians are not taking South Africans serious. Politics is nothing but a game, guys. Politics is nothing but a game. But it looks like South Africans, men, are so hung up on politicians. They think that politicians are going to solve their problems. They're going to have to learn the hard ways. South Africans are going to have to learn the hard ways, man. I appreciate people who can see what the politicians are doing in South Africa. I can appreciate people who can see what the political system is doing to South Africa and trying to go as independent. I appreciate those people, man, because those people know that these guys, they will never give you anything. These people, they will never offer you anything. They will never offer you anything. But unfortunately, majority of the people in the country, they still believe in politicians. Majority of the people in the country, man, they still believe that as long as you delegate your problems to these politicians, somehow your life is going to be better. But unfortunately, people will have to learn the hard way.
It's a good example that wherever the ANC is not governing, no one takes responsibility. You know, we have a track record that when we were in charge of Tshwane, it was better than what it is now. You know, now we're here to revive the spirit of our people, revive our structures, remind the people of Mamelodi and Tshwane that here they're not led by the ANC, they're led by the DA. And what they did in the past 10 years of not going out to vote for the African National Congress, today they're paying the price for that. Now the youth of Tshwane and everywhere else will make sure that they fight. And look, on top of the agenda is crime here, you know, where criminals are just moving as they please. You know, it's a crime zone. You know, Tshwane is becoming a capital seat of criminals. Now we've also told the president that the youth of Tshwane is not feeling safe in their own area. He must send, even he must send the military, must do that. We can't have criminals holding the city at ransom, the people here at ransom, because the DA doesn't care about them. He doesn't care about them. National must come in and take over projects of water, take over everything here so that services go to our people.
If you look at young people who've just qualified to become potential voters, we are told 13 million South Africans who ought to be in the voters' roll are not there. 14 million of them who are on the voters' roll didn't even vote, and mainly are young people. If you were to package a message to electrify these young people to really register and vote, what would that message be?
Look, the first message we tell them is that they must acknowledge that the African National Congress has done a lot for them. Before 1994.
I mean, like, what must the young people acknowledge the African National Congress has done for them? 60% of young people are sitting at home. Do you understand that is millions and millions of young people are sitting at home? People who are able to work, but they cannot find employment. Do you understand that? Do you understand that? They must acknowledge that the ANC has done much for them. What has the ANC done for them? They are sitting at home. They are unemployed. What has the ANC done for them?
You'll not just move from vendor and go to university. You know, under ANC-led government, you can go from primary up to high school to university without paying any cent, no matter from what background you are from. But I think more must be done. Look, unemployment is on top of the agenda. You know,
without paying any cent, he does not mention the fact that the taxpayers are footing the bill. He does not mention the fact that the taxpayers are footing the bill. This is the reason why, again, I say that political parties in South Africa, I mean, they are simply taking advantage of the fact that most of South Africans are uneducated. Most of the South Africans, they cannot understand how these things actually operate. For you to say that people can get something for free, guys, when are you actually going to tell the people the truth that all of these things that you say people are getting for free, someone is paying for them? All of these things, all the free education you are talking about, free healthcare you are talking about, free SASAC, all of these things that you are talking about, someone is paying for them.
The youth is unemployed in South Africa, and that's why the employment is ranked. But we have raised to the ANC. If you can see the local outcomes, everyone speaking about reskilling, skill development, speaking about reindustrialization. Those are programs of the Youth League. And I was saying that the Youth League is back. We are the voice of the voiceless. They must revive their confidence. They must come in and vote the ANC into power so that we continue to influence policies that resolve their socio-economic challenges.
These elections, we're going to have young people mainly voting. And if you look at South Africa, 60% of young people in this country are young people. I mean, 60% of the population is mainly young people. And I would like to bring in Onesong, who is the national convener of COSAS. He's got 8 distinctions. You're the young man. You will be voting maybe for the first time. If you were to encourage your youngsters or your peers to vote, what would you say?
Well, the first thing that they should acknowledge is that voting is their right. Voting is the best way in which any average South African citizen could raise their voice, could actually have a view on what they want in the future of South Africa. Well, myself, I've seen that the future of South Africa is solely dependent on the works of the African National Congress. The best motivation that I could give to all young people at schools.
This guy is a first-time voter. This guy is a first-time voter. I mean, I don't think this guy actually understands the damage that the African National Congress has done to the country. So for him to say that the future of this country relies on people voting for the ANC, he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. He doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. Right now, people as we speak are fed up because the ANC has practically destroyed the whole country. And he's a first-time voter, and he comes out and he says that... This is the reason why political parties, man, will never spearhead the voter education. Political parties will never spearhead. the issue of voter education, because they understand that the moment average South Africans understand what voting is, the moment average South Africans understand the powers that they are giving to people by voting for them, many South Africans will never vote for these people. Many South Africans will never vote in for these people, man. Like political parties right now, they're talking about, yeah, we need to teach South Africans about voter education. Right now, it is a very crucial moment for us to teach South Africans about how important it is to vote. I'm like, guys, you had 5 years to teach South Africans about the importance of voting. You had 5 years to tell South Africans about the implications of voting. But did you? No, you didn't do that. Couple of months before the elections, you are out in full swing saying that South Africans should be educated. Many political parties in South Africa, many of the political parties in South Africa, they are simply trying to take advantage of the fact that many people in the country, they are uneducated. Many people in the country, man, especially when it comes to politics, they don't know what the hell they are talking about.
Even in acknowledging that perhaps there are some schools that wouldn't allow learners to register to vote because of their difference to the political space that is around. But if they get the chance, they should register and they should vote for the African National Congress. It is the political party that has created so much change from 1994 up until this day. It is still creating so much change. We have seen a rise in very important statistics such as students enrolling into university, black students enrolling into university, and unemployment rate decreasing. There's a lot of things that are
Unemployment rate decreasing where? Unemployment rate decreasing where? Because the only province that is contributing to the unemployment rate decreasing in the country is Western Cape. The same Western Cape that you say that it is not perfect, but the Western Cape, it is the only province in South Africa that is actually fighting when it comes to the unemployment rate. So when unemployment rate goes down in the country, it is because of the Western Cape. It is not because of the provinces that are governed by the African National Congress. I hope that one is clear.
Are happening even for them. In fact, at a lower level of school, nutrition is being brought to schools. They are studying for free. Their school can be used as a home environment. They are also using their school as an environment to study. The libraries at school, there's a lot of development that is happening under the government of the African National Congress. It has been there, and we're still seeing it happening even up until this day. So I motivate all of them to register to vote. If they are unable to register to vote to their voting stations, they can vote online or request assistance from anyone, in fact, who is in their communities, who is a leader or a member of the African National Congress, can assist them to actually register to vote.
Well, this is the future of South Africa.
Man, if this is the future of South Africa, then I don't want to live in South Africa, man. If this is the kind of people that we have in the country, then clearly I don't want to live in South Africa. Guys, you remember that video that I did the other day? You remember that video that I did of that young man who said that the South Africans, man, must vote for the African National Congress? And that young man is also the first time voter, man. I'm going to try to play a bit of that video, man. Like, young people in this country, man, like the way young people are thinking in this country, man, it is threatening. It is actually scary the way the young people are thinking in the country, man. The fact that these people think that the African National Congress can do something, man. The fact that these first-time voters, they are so strong on the fact that African National Congress can provide the services to the people, and they are so strong when they say that people must go out and vote for the African National Congress, man. It's unbelievable how many young people, man, are falling into the identity and racial politics. It's amazing. It's amazing. This is the video I remember. I'm going to try to get where that young person said people must vote for the African National Congress. And guys, these are the results of the racial and identity politics. If you were not aware, these are the results of the racial and identity politics. Trying to get, where's that part? Ah, come on, the adverts, man. It is so scary, man. You see this 30%, the ANC is actually benefiting from its 30%. Right now, as we speak, the African National Congress is actually benefiting from the 30%. Because if this is how young people actually think in the country, if this is how young people think in the country, man. If this is how young people actually think in the country, man, it's unfortunate. I can't. I'm going to try to find
It's in the freedom chart, just to clarify. But kids had to fight for it.
You're quite correct. They had to fight for
it.
it.
And they had to fight for it during an ANC run government.
Yes.
And you can't then say it's the ANC that made it possible.
You must remember, the fight was centered.
But to be fair enough, ANC has a lot of policies. Guys, I'm trying to find the moment where this young person actually tells South Africans why they especially young people, think they must vote for the African National Congress, man. If this is how young people in this country think, it is scary. If this is how young people actually think in this country, man. Very scary.
That says we need to have free education for all.
Okay, it's in the freedom chart, just the grant system.
As long as there's a conversation there, this country must be proud because they're getting social accounts. You cannot tell me you are serious. You can't tell me you are serious, man.
Well, let's pick on one. There's a few points there. The grant system. Let's go to free education for a second. Is it an ANC policy of free education?
It was adopted, the ANC policy.
Yeah.
There is a policy in the ANC that says we need to have free education for all.
Okay, it's in the freedom chart, just to clarify. But kids have to.
And guys, as a taxpayer, man, I guess I'll see that moment next time. I'm like, it is very unfortunate, especially when you hear young people speak, man. Young people will tell you that the African National Congress has done 1, 2, 3, man. These people, man, they are not even aware that these programs that they are saying they are getting for free, someone is paying for them. They go around saying that the African National Congress has given young people in this country free education. The African National Congress has given people in this country free healthcare. They are not talking about the fact that the taxpayers in the country, they are paying for all of these things. In their eyes, it is the African National Congress that is actually giving them these things. Go to the townships, man. Try to speak with young people. Young people will tell you that, man, I cannot afford not to vote for the African National Congress because the ANC is giving me the grants. So young people in this country, they think all of these things they are getting from the government. They are getting them from the African National Congress. They don't think about the fact that all of these things they are getting from the government, they are getting them because the taxpayers are paying for them. And this is the most unfortunate part. And I know that some of you may think that it is insane. How is it possible that these people don't understand that all of these services they are getting from the ANC, they are paid for by the taxpayers? How is it possible? But I can tell you today that many of these young people, they actually think that all of these things they are getting from the ANC, they are getting them because of the African National Congress. They are not getting them because of the taxpayers. Guys, if this is the thinking for young people in this country, I am very worried about the future of this country. Guys, please tell me what you think on the comment section. Don't forget to hit that like button, and the most important part, subscribe. My name is Thomas Mabaso. I will see you next time. Bye bye.